All right, hello. My name is Cody Hope, and I'm going to be playing some Lurrus Burn today in Pioneer. And before we jump into it, I'm going to do a quick deck tech of this deck because it's relatively new, only popping up after Ikoria came out. So the purpose of this deck is just to take our opponent from 20 life to 0 as quickly as possible. And we do that with having some really aggressively costed creatures in the form of Monastery Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage, all-stars in Pioneer and Modern. Both of these creatures have prowess, which means that they're going to be getting beefed up from our burn spells. We also have Get To Lava Runner. It's kind of our equivalent of Goblin Guide here in Pioneer, starting out as a 1-2, but as we play more and more instants and sorceries, is going to become a 2-2 with haste. We're also running a couple Eidolon of the Great Revel. Ever since Ikoria came out and Lurrus of the Dream Den has been popping up everywhere, we've been seeing a lot of decks run only 1 and 2 CMC spells, so Eidolon really well positioned right now. We're also running a couple of these Pyromancers. It's just a 2-1 that when it enters the battlefield deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. Stats on it aren't super impressive, but it has some real nice synergy with Lurrus that we'll go over here in a minute. In terms of our burn spells, we have 4 Wild Slash, all-star of the Pioneer format. Right now we have a couple Lightning Strikes. We're only doing 3. 2 mana to deal 3 damage isn't the best rate, but it's still pretty good, so we're going to be running 3 of them. Playset of Boros Charm. Unlike in Modern, where we're pretty much only using this to deal 4 damage to target player or planeswalker, Boros Charm does give us a lot more utility in Pioneer because we are frequently going to be probably giving our permanents indestructible, and we might even be using the Double Strike ability time to time. What makes this deck pretty much the burn deck is that we get to run 8 effectively 1 mana lightning bolts. We get a playset of Wizard's Lightning, and we're doing 3 Skewer the Critics. Wizard's Lightning, really great because we're running a lot of wizards in the deck. Our 4 Get To Lava Runners, our 4 Soulscar Mages, and our 3 Pyromancers are going to allow us to turn that on. And then over here we have 4 Light Up the Stage. Unlike in Modern, we're not going to be able to win on turn 3, probably not even turn 4 most of the time. So we are going to be going into the mid game. So Light Up the Stage really going to allow us to refill our hand and keep the train rolling. This last one's a little bit of a flex slot. I'm doing 2 Chain to the Rocks in the main deck. I've been seeing a ton, just an absolute ton of the blue-black Saram Auras deck. And so that deck is a bit of a problem for burn. They have several creatures with lifelink, and very quickly their creatures get out of the range of being killed by our burn spells. So we're just going to do 2 Chain to the Rocks main deck to hopefully shore up that matchup. Also has a bit of utility against some of the other decks that are running big scary creatures like Uro. Moving over to the sideboard, we have our companion, Lurrus of the Dream Den. I don't think I need to go over too much why this card is super good. Been tearing up every format that it's legal in, and we'll see how long this card lasts. But this one really turns on a lot of the deck. We're running a lot of creatures, and so we're going to have a lot of targets to be getting back with Lurrus. Some of my favorite is this column right here, our Pyromancers and our Eidolons. Eidolon can be just a haymaker against certain matchups like the Lotus Field deck, so being able to just make sure that we're able to get our Eidolons back after they remove it is going to be huge in those matchups. And then this is where I think the Pyromancer really shines. Like, 2 mana for a 2-1 that deals 2 isn't the best rate in the world, but essentially once we get Lurrus online, we can attack with this thing every single turn, and they're either going to be taking 2 damage from it, or they block and kill it because it's only got 1 toughness, meaning that we can immediately recast it with Lurrus to then deal 2 more damage. So we can kind of get a little bit of a value engine going with the Pyromancer once we can get Lurrus down on the battlefield. We're running 2 more Chain to the Rocks and 2 more Eidolons. Certain matchups, Eidolon is going to be a bit more important, such as the Lotus Breach matchup, and in some matchups, Chain to the Rocks is going to be super important, so we're going to want to go up to 3 to 4 copies of it. We have 3 copies of Searing Blood. Really great for these creature matchups, which Pioneer is full of. So having 3 of those is going to help us control the board while still being able to deal damage to our opponents. We're doing 2 Deflecting Palm. This is again kind of for the Saram Aura matchup, as well as the any deck that's running Uro is essentially Deflecting Palm is great because it's going to be able to get around any protection effects that our opponent might have. So for example, out of the Saram Aura's decks, they sometimes have the one that gives their creature hexproof. Deflecting Palm gets around that because it doesn't target anybody. You're choosing a source, and then Deflecting Palm is dealing the damage directly. No targets are being declared with Deflecting Palm, so it's really nice for those matchups. Deflecting Palm is going to be preventing damage, so it's going to be great against any matchup that has creatures with lifelink because they're not going to be gaining life from the creature. And then these last couple spots, we have 2 Grafdigger's Cage. Grafdigger's Cage really well positioned. Going to be great, again, in the Lotus Breach matchup, making it where they can't cast their spells out of the graveyard. This is also going to be really good against the Abzan Rally the Ancestors deck that I've been seeing more and more of. That's essentially a deck that's trying to get a bunch of creatures with these enter the battlefield and dying effects, and then that all cost 1 to 2 CMC, and using Rally the Ancestors to bring them all back. Grafdigger's Cage is going to shut that deck off completely. And then we have 3 Wear and Tear. Lots of good artifacts and enchantments running around this format, so having some ways to answer it is going to be really nice. A good interaction with Lurrus is if they do manage to remove our Grafdigger's Cage, remove our Chain to the Rocks, get rid of our Eidolons, we're just going to be able to get them right back with Lurrus. And hopefully we'll see that sometimes we don't even need Lurrus. Sometimes our main game plan is just so good that we're able to run them over, take them off their game plan before they're able to do anything. But sometimes Lurrus is really going to make a huge difference. There have been matchups that have been won just because we have access to this card in our sideboard. So with that, we are going to jump into a league, see how it goes. I've already taken this list to a 5-0 before, so we're going to be hoping that we can do that again. All right. Getting into our first match. We have lost the die roll, going to be on the draw, revealing our Lurrus. All right, we're playing against another Lurrus deck. So this is probably either going to be the mirror match or it's going to be the Saram Aura's deck. Either way, I think this is a really solid hand. We have 2 lands. We have white. We're able to lead on Monastery Swiftspear. We have lots of removal. We have tons of removal that we can use against either matchup as well as this Eidolon. So we are 100% going to be keeping this hand. We're just going to... Okay, a Triome. Forest Island Mountain. Interesting. All right, well, we're just going to lead on this Monastery Swiftspear. And hoping for the best. A Glacial Fortress. Okay. Seeing a SRAM. Huh. Okay. And a bunch of 0 mana artifacts. I see. Well, unfortunately, if we were on the play, we would have been able to drop down that Eidolon turn 2, and that would have been really great right about now, but... I'm imagining this is some kind of combo deck that's going to try to either loop these with Paradoxical outcome, or this might just be something that's like they're trying to play something that gets a bonus when it's equipped. So I think it's definitely going to be safe that we lead on this Eidolon. And we're not going to attack. Just our Swiftspear would just be eaten up by the SRAM. All right, and we're just going to pass through this turn. Interesting. This is my first time playing against this deck, so we're gonna have to be playing it by ear. A Mana Confluence. A Baral. This is an interesting list for sure. So our Eidolon's already doing a ton of work. They've taken 4 damage this turn. Let's see. Soulscar Mage is okay. I almost want to just hold up removal because the fact that they're playing Baral makes me a little bit concerned. Like, I want to answer this Baral before things get out of hand, so we might just Lightning Strike it. The other option could be to play Soulscar Mage, and then that turns on our Wizard's Lightning. But I'm very cautious about how much damage to take off of this Eidolon, just because I'm not sure how much damage they could hit me with out of nowhere. Another good option would be to play the Pyromancer. Pyromancer deals 2 damage to them, and that turns on both our Skewer the Critics and the Wizard's Lightning, which we could then use to remove either the Saram or the Baral. I think we're going to... I think we're going to Lightning Strike this Baral using the colorless mana off the Battlefield Forge. And then we're going to attack in with our Swift Spear. They most likely are not going to block it because this Rim will just get eaten by the Swift Spear. And then we will use the Skewer the Critics to answer that Saram. All right. They did not block, so we are just going to use this Skewer the Critics to get rid of this Saram. I do not want them cycling through their deck with a bunch of 0 mana artifacts. So, and then after that, I think we are going to be passing the turn. Hello all. I appreciate you guys coming out to my first stream. It is a little nerve-wracking, and I appreciate all the support. All right, and we are going to game 2. So it definitely seems like they are leaning on their couple of creatures. We're definitely bringing in 2 Eidolons. I think we can afford to get rid of these Chain to the Rocks. They don't, like, yes, we're trying to answer their creatures, but we want to have things that can do damage after we answer their creatures. Yes, this is a league. This is a league. We are currently in match 1. And we're going to bring in these Wear Tears. I don't know quite what they're planning with their artifacts, if they're just trying to cycle through them, but I would rather be safe than sorry. I think we can afford to get rid of maybe 1 to 2 light up the stages. I want to prioritize having my removal and using it effectively. So I think we'll maybe trim 1 light up the stage and 2 Boros Charm. Boros Charm is good at pushing through damage, but I really think that we need to try to control the board a little bit more because it really seems like their creatures are what's going to do it. Yeah, you know what? I definitely want to leave in 1 Wear and Tear just because we saw a lot of artifacts, but 3 is probably a little bit excessive. Searing Blood will be good to answer Saram. It doesn't quite answer Baral, but maybe we can trick him into blocking with it. I think this will be the list that we wind up going it back with. It's my first time playing against it, so it's possible that I'm sideboarding a little bit wonky, but we will see. Oh, yes, I forgot that they also had a Lurrus, so our Searing Bloods are going to be good against that Lurrus as well. All right, this hand, like, we've been getting really lucky with these hands. We have 2 lands, we have a 1-drop creature, and we have a ton of removal. We even get to cast Wizard's Lightning for 1 mana, so I'm feeling pretty confident in this hand. they still have their Lurrus. I know sometimes some of these decks that aren't leaning so heavily on Lurrus will have some 3 CMC cards in the sideboard, so we know that nothing like that's coming in. You know, I wasn't planning on growing the beard back, but quarantine will do that to you. All right, we even have our wear tear, so if we see anything problematic, we're going to be able to answer it. All right, get 2 Lava Runner, doesn't have haste yet, and then we'll be passing the turn. All right, playing a Saram. And then they are going to town with all these 0 mana artifacts. Jeez. All right. So we are 100% going to answer this Saram. I want to use the Wild Slash to be effective with our spells, because I know that with Baral's 3 toughness, I definitely don't want to be stuck with a Wild Slash in my hand that can't kill it. But I also want to be using my mana effectively, so I think I'm going to use this Lightning Strike, especially because we just drew a second one. And then we're going to be getting in there for 1. Let's see. I should probably, for the future, find a way to... I know that there's a Twitch extension to have the deck list up. That's probably something that I should be doing in the future. I did a little bit of a deck tech at the very beginning of the stream, but in between matches, we can go back to the list and talk about it. All right, they're casting their Lurrus. Although casting a Lurrus for no value seems a little suspect, but I think that shows how little they have in their hand if they're just going to cast a Lurrus, knowing that we're probably just going to remove it immediately. Eidolon's a good one, but I definitely don't want them getting their Saram back, so I think the plan is just going to be to Wild Slash this Lurrus, and then it doesn't look like they have anything good in their hand, so I think it's going to be safe to hold up this Wizard's Lightning. No sense in us playing it before combat, since Get 2 Lava Runner is already a 2/2, and it doesn't have prowess. A Triome. Let's see, and this is a different Triome than the one that they played in Game 1, so... This is definitely some kind of 5 color deck. I don't quite know what their game plan is, but I'm definitely just concerned of them going off at any time out of nowhere. All right, see what we draw. Another land. We're sitting pretty comfortably with our life total that I feel pretty good shocking this Sacred Foundry in, just to hold up Tear, just in case they play something that's a little bit suspect. Going to attack for 2. And they didn't play anything last turn, so that makes me think that playing Eidolon might not... Well, I still want to play this Eidolon. At the very least, it'll discourage them from playing things, and then if they once again cast nothing next turn, we can just attack for 4. All right. Oh, a Back to Nature to destroy all enchantments. I see. Oh, hey, Jared. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. They are destroying my Eidolon. So the fact that they're running this Back to Nature makes me think that they're not running any enchantments, that they are probably just playing a bunch of these artifacts. So we'll have to be holding up Wear from now on. Uh-oh. 4 mana. That is a Finale of Devastation. Okay. Getting a Saram. And then, all right, they are starting to play things. Mox Amber. Okay, they're still just kind of playing a bunch of nothings. Like, I understand that they're drawing cards off of it, but I don't know. Wild Slash is a great draw. We're gonna get this SRAM out of here. And then the plan is going to be to hold up a Lightning Strike in case they play another SRAM or they play a Baral, anything like that. And then if they don't, we'll Boros Charm them at the end of their turn. Another finale of Devastation. I imagine they're going to get another SRAM. So they're going to get one draw off of the SRAM before we Lightning Strike it. And this is what I meant when I was like talking in the deck tech portion about we're not Modern Burn. Like, we are on turn 6, and even though we are, I would like to think, pretty firmly in control of the game, like, we're not going to be burning them out in the first 3 to 4 turns of the game. We're really trying to have a couple of creatures and leverage our burn spells to control the game that way. Sacred Foundry is a good one. We have the option to just cast our Lurrus and then next turn try to slam down the Eidolon. Or we could Boros Charm holding up Where. But I think what we're going to do first is we're just going to go to combat and attack them for 2. Although we're hitting them to 6, so it might just be correct just to slam down this Boros Charm and then attack for 2 next turn and win the game. So we're going to shock in the Sacred Foundry. I still feel pretty confident about our life total. Now we can hold up both Where and have our Boros Charm. And then if somehow they do manage to destroy our board and we're sitting empty-handed, then that's where Lurrus is going to be pretty good, because we're going to be able to cast the Lurrus, get back a Lava Runner, should it come to that. Or if we draw land, then we can get back Eidolon, and then the game will pretty definitively be over. All right, another land. What are they playing? 4 mana. This is another finale? Wow. Another finale. Fortunately, we do not have an answer to this one. And they have 2 mana available with the Mox Amber. Ah, there we go. So, I see now. Returning any number of permanents to their hand. I think it'll be smart just because I don't want them... It'll stop them from drawing a card and making mana, because I think this might be some sort of thing where they're going to try to make a bunch of mana or draw a bunch of cards. So we're going to destroy that Mox Amber. They're going to be drawing 5 cards this turn. I think for the sake of time, I am just going to Boros Charm them and then F6 through this turn. Although there is something to say about giving away the information of the card that we have in our hand, but I definitely don't want to sit here and just click, click, click through a bunch of things. All right. They are churning. Now this might be a situation where several turns ago we cast a Wizard's Lightning targeting them, where if we had held on to it we could have killed this SRAM, but they are just passing the turn. So I think if we draw any burn spell, well, Swift Spear's not enough. They'll block and go to 1. It's a weird spot. We're definitely going to play it, Because there's nothing. The only thing we can get out of the graveyard with Lurrus is that Eidolon, which we can't cast this turn. And then we're gonna put him to 1. But the good news is we're getting this Saram off the battlefield, so hopefully that stops them from doing what they want to be doing. We're gonna cast Lurrus. Let's hope we get to untap, because if we do, then the game's over. If not, then good news is we at least get a game 3 out of it. Yeah, Searing Blood would have been really good right then too. Although they've played some, but granted, they have 33 cards in their deck. They've been really churning. That explains how they've been hitting all these finales. But they only have 1 or 2 more Saram. They only have 1 Saram left in the deck. A Bring Delight for 4 colors. Paradoxical outcome. All right, so they're going to be drawing another 4 or 5 cards. Ugh. What is their win condition, though? All right, they don't have one. We win the game. Weird game. I had a feeling it was some sort of combo deck, but all right. And while we wait for that to pop up, we can go back to our deck list here for a quick second. Had several people asking about it. This is the first real burn deck that's happened in Pioneer. Most of the other red decks that we've seen have kind of been these creature aggro mid-range decks, trying to leverage things like Torbran and Goblin Rabblemaster. We are definitely on as close to a burn plan as we can be. Bunch of 1-drops, a couple 2-drops, and then a bunch of burn spells, with our little flex slot being chained to the rocks. All right, we have a match for our second game. Currently 1-0. Oh, are we? All right. We have once again lost the die roll. 0-2 in die rolls. A Yorion. Oh boy. We only have 1 land. We are on the draw, so we have 2 turns, two draw steps to get a second land. We don't have a white source for these 2 Boros Charms, but we do have 3 1-drops. Typically, the Yorion decks are a little bit slower. They're playing things like Omen of the Sea to really churn through their deck, so we might have a couple turns to try to get into 2 lands. We'll keep it. We'll see if I regret that. This is not like, again, I know there's a lot of comparison online comparing this to Modern Burn, but we definitely don't get the luxury of keeping too many 1-land hands. I think this is a good one, though. We're going to lead on the Soulscar Mage, I imagine. And, ooh, a Thoughtseize. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. I immediately regret keeping that hand. Is this, this could be some kind of Dimir Inverter that's just running Urian for value. I mean, we'll have to see. I know that I've seen... All right, a Get to Lava Runner. It's not the best draw, but it's definitely not the worst one. Because we'll get to play it with our 1 land, but I would have really liked to see a second land there. And never punished. Never punished. All right, we did it. We have the option to Lightning Strike or Boros Charm, or we could play this Get to Lava Runner and Wild Slash. Although we're not going to be attacking with the Lava Runner until next turn anyway, so we might as well just wait, play it next turn, and it'll have haste. So I think the plan is going to be to Boros Charm him for 4, and then get in there for 2. Assuming that we get to do that. Okay, like I thought, flashing in an Omen of the Sea. let's see. How did they scry with that? They put 2 cards on the bottom. So that is a good sign that they do not have what they need. We already got him to 10, which is excellent. And we'll see if we can... We have more than 10 damage in our hand. We're just going to have to see if we get the time to play it. Nothing on turn 3. That means there's a lot of interaction coming our way. Another Wild Slash. I'm going to cast this Lava Runner because I want to get more creatures on the battlefield. We'll see if it gets countered. They're going to Fatal Push the Soulscar Mage, so that makes me feel good about casting this Lava Runner because we need a permanent on the battlefield that is going to be dealing some damage. Doesn't matter. Okay, they have F6 through the turn. We are in the clear. If we draw a land, if this is the inverter deck like I think it might be, if they just play a land, okay, no. We just win. Go into game 2. All right. It feels like an Inverter of Truth deck. It really does, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we want these Chained to the Rocks, because even if this is Inverter, Chained to the Rocks isn't going to do anything once they play their Inverter. I think I just want to bring in the two Eidolons for sure. Because especially with them playing Yorion and having an 80 card deck, their Ops and their Omen of the Seas are really important for them getting to their combo pieces or their win conditions. So having Eidolon will be good there. I don't know if we really want anything else. Wear Tear is bad. I mean, we can hit an Omen, but what good does that do us? Grafdigger's Cage is probably not very good. We won game 1, so we'll see how game 2 goes. I feel pretty okay about that sideboarding, and then if we see something new that completely changes our sideboarding, then we get game 3 to do it, and then we'd be on the play for that game 3. All right, I see they didn't side out 20 cards. No lands. Not very good. We are having a mulligan. This is fine. I think the plan is going to be to put a mountain on the... We're keeping for sure, because going to 5 is pretty much a death sentence, so we're going to keep. I think the plan is going to be to put a mountain on the bottom. We'll hold up... we'll probably just Wild Slash turn 1, Eidolon turn 2, and then turn 3 we can attack, light up the stage, or just cast the Boros Charm. We definitely want to prioritize our spells over our lands. All right. Tapped Watery Grave. That is a... I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign. Mountain. And we drew a second Wild Slash, which is nice. We're just going to pass the turn. Urborg. Good news. This is a mountain swap. Okay, Jace Fringe Prodigy. This is definitely the 80 card Dimir Inverter deck. That Jace is, I know, a great way for them to turn through it. So we're just going to answer this Jace. I don't want them digging. That's one of the benefits that this deck, that our burn deck has in the current meta, is that a lot of, even like these fast combo decks are trying to like run a companion because companions are really good, and like I can see how Yorion can help them shore up some matchups that they're bad at because they don't have to combo. They can just play this 5/6 flyer or this 4/5 flyer and then just go to town. So we are going to shock this in, cast this Eidolon. Oh, now I have to click even on my mountains because look at this Tri-Land. Boy, we got this Mardu Tri-Land. How fun. Trial of Ambition. I'm not familiar. Oh, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Okay. I gotta sacrifice this Eidolon. Good news, we have 3 lands if we just draw. Depends on when we want to cast Lurrus, but we can just get this Eidolon back. I don't want to cast Lurrus right now because there's a good chance that they have some removal in their hand. So we are going to shock in the Sacred Foundry. I know, Meatball, that's what I'm saying. I think the plan will be to just... I think we're going to Boros Charm and get the Skewer the Critics out of our hand. That way next turn we can cast this Light Up the Stage. Because we're not going to be using the other 2 modes on this Boros Charm in this matchup. I think because Wild Slash is always going to cost 1, that Skewer is going to require us to have Spectacle. So let's see. We're at 11, which is good for us. Prefer them to be a little bit lower in life total. Hello, Meatball. Here. Meatball, come here. Meatball has joined the stream. Oh, and she's left the stream. See ya. All right, let's see what we draw. All right, we drew a land. It is Meatball, the famed cat from the playmat. Let's see. We drew another land, which is which is good. We could Lurrus right now, but we don't get any immediate value off of it. And the fact that they held up 3 lands makes me a little nervous about just wasting our Lurrus like that. I want to cast Lurrus and immediately get some value off. So we're going to start off with this Wild Slash and hope that we just get to light up the stage. All right. Land, light up the stage. I think we just need to cast this now. Dude, double Wizard's Lightning. Ugh, we have no wizards. We're not going to be able to cast both of these, unfortunately, unless we can draw a wizard next turn. Although a Get to Lava Runner would be really clutch right now, because that would allow us to punch through 8 damage. Assuming they don't have a Fatal Push or anything like that. Uh-oh. Am I getting Inverter of Truth? No, a Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Which is almost just as bad, because that means that now we're stuck in the situation of we kind of want to answer the Jace, because if they just play an Inverter of Truth, they milled 2 with they milled an Inverter. So we're kind of in trouble. Like, we need to close out the game pretty fast. Get 2 Lava Runner. Never punished. We can afford to pay 2 life, just in case. We have gotten very lucky in terms of, like, drawing that second land in game 1 and then drawing this wizard right when we need it. All right, we are just slamming out these Wizards Lightning. So the good news is we have 5 mana now. So if we get another turn, the plan is going to be to slam down Lurrus, slam down Eidolon. Because if we... Okay, here comes the Fatal Push. All right. So if we get to untap and just draw a Lightning Strike, we're gonna be feeling pretty good about it. That would be the best play, is that we get to untap, cast Lightning Strike, win the game. Because I'm not seeing any counter magic out of them. There's several things that I think they should want to counter. If we get to play an Eidolon, it pretty much means we win the game. They have too many cards in their graveyard to I think, combo us next turn. So, Lightning Strike. Let's just let's win the game. We have enough mana that if they cast a Mystical Dispute, we can just pay for it. But they might have a hard counter. We'll have to see. All right, we got there. We are 2-0 now. Winning 4 matches going into round 3. I know that there's a lot of kind of controversy around the companions, but I definitely think that the gameplay with them is fun. The only problem is that like both matches we played so far have been against companion decks, and I'm going to guess that the next 3 decks that we're going to play against are also going to be companion decks. All right, you have a good dinner. I will probably still be here, although we'll see. We've been here less than an hour, and we're already 2/5 of the way through the league. We'll see how this goes. We might do another one. We'll have to see how I'm feeling. Going back over here to our... Oh, never mind. We are just going to be jumping into our 3rd game. We have once again lost the die roll, although it hasn't seemed to matter too much so far. Another Yorion deck. We'll see if it's Inverter again. It could be blue-white control. This is an excellent hand either way. We get that turn 1 play. We have lots of burn backup, a light up the stage to refill, 2 lands, both colors. We are doing pretty good in terms of that so far. Tapped Water Grave. It looks like we're up against another Dimir Inverter deck. I think we kind of have the clock to race them, and that Soulscar Mage is really nice. I think the plan is going to be to cast the Soulscar Mage, and then maybe next turn we can... I don't know. I think that there's definitely an argument to go and get to Lava Runner or Wild Slash attack for 2. But I kind of want to use my mana very effectively. Like, the fact that this Lava Runner is going to be a hasty boy here in a couple turns makes me not want to waste time playing him and then not attacking. We'll see what we draw. Another land. 3 mana is enough where if we go Wild Slash, light up the stage, attack for 3, sounds pretty good. But then the problem is if we get 2 expensive spells off of the light up the stage, we're not going to be able to cast them. Like if we get 2 Boros Charms or a Lightning Strike, Eidolon, we're going to have to be picking one. And I definitely want to cast both spells off of the light up the stage. So I think we might wait until next turn to cast this light up the stage. I think the plan right now is going to be just to cast this Boros Charm. We want to effectively, or you know what? I want to do the Lightning Strike. Because Boros Charm, we might use the Indestructible mode if we, like, for say, get to slam down an Eidolon here in a turn or 2. Wanting to protect that Eidolon is going to be pretty important. Eidolon is super well positioned right now, just with the Lurrus decks, these Yorion decks requiring a bunch of low CMC scry effects like Omen of the Sea and Opt. So Eidolon putting in a lot of work. No, waiting on me. Gonna F6 through this turn. Another land. I mean, there is just the possibility that we just get comboed out here in a minute. Oath of Liliana. I sacrifice a creature. Now that could have been an argument to maybe play the Lava Runner last turn, that we could just sack it with the Oath from the Oath of Liliana, and then we have our prowess creature. So we're going to need double Lava Runner. So change of plans. We are going to double Lava Runner, Wild Slash, attack for 4. Putting them on a pretty tight clock is something that we want to be doing, especially against these Yorion decks. The fact that it's just going to take them a little while to get to the cards that they need. There's a Thassa's Oracle. It's going to help them filter. They get to scry 3, unfortunately. Get to filter, and that 1/3 blocker might be a problem. See what we draw. Eidolon. Eidolon's a good one. I think the play is going to be we're going to attack. He's going to block 1, they are going to block, take 2 from the other one, unless they have a fatal push, which would be pretty bad. And then the plan will be Eidolon light up the stage, then Eidolon. If they do fatal push one of our lava runners, then it's going to be Boros Charm light up the stage. Just super important that we have even the smallest board presence to just get in repeatable damage. That's the most important thing right now. All right, they're blocking. Taking 2. We're going to cast this light up the stage. Nice. Battlefield Forge. I kind of just want to play out this Swift Spear. It does open us up to like a Languish next turn. But I kind of want to... Well, we'll have 4 mana. 3 of it will be spent. I guess we'll hold off on it. I don't want to overcommit to the board and then get blown out by a Languish type effect. And then we get to cast the Swift Spear next turn anyway. Five mana. Nothing good. Oh, are they casting Yorion? Okay. Oh, they're going to blink their Omen, blink their Oath, blink their... Oh, God, that's so good. Jeez, so we're losing a creature. We're losing a creature, and then we are going to be... And they have 2 blockers. Good news is we can Boros Charm them down to 3. So if we can draw any 3 damage spell, if we can draw Wizard's Lightning, Skewer the Critics, Lightning Strike, we'll be able to close out the game. I want to sacrifice I'm going to sacrifice a Lava Runner because I want this Eidolon to stay in play. Just because if we don't draw a 3 spell card, we can hopefully use this Eidolon to leverage out the game. Second Eidolon. Let's see. If we play the Swift Spear, Boros Charm them, and attack, they're going to be taking 2. That puts them to 1. I think regardless, we're starting with this Boros Charm. I think that's a pretty safe thing to say that we're casting regardless. And I'm not going to cast it into a second Eidolon. Well, I guess now we're definitely off the Swift Spear plan because that's not going to hit him for 2. I want to play an Eidolon and lock them out of playing things. That's what I want to do. Because our life total doesn't really matter. I mean, yes, they have this Yorion in play, but they're not attacking with it. Because if they attack with it, we'll win the game. Because that's what I want to do. I want to lock them out of play anything. If they play anything 2 CMC or less, we win the game. But we're in a bit of a spot. No attacks. They ain't playing nothing. So they're hoping that we'll get greedy and try to attack with this Eidolons. Let's see if we can just draw a burn spell. Unfortunately not. Play this Inspiring Vantage. We do need to be aware of our life total. I kind of like, part of me wants to just slam down Lurrus, slam down a get 2 Lava Runner. Although, does that win us the game though? I think that wins us the game. Yeah, I think I think we have to do that. But that's 9 damage that we're taking. 9 damage. That's a lot. But I guess it doesn't matter if we win the game. Because we're going to get attacked with 4 creatures, and they only have 2 blockers. And they're definitely taken, and they'll take 4. And I don't think there's any removal that costs 4 or greater that's single target or instant speed. So we're going to try to just close out the game. Let's see if that gets us there. All right, we win the game. Going to the sideboard. I think, again, this is going to be one of those ones. We're going to take out Chain to the Rocks, and then we're going to bring in the Eidolons. I guess we could... I don't want to bring in these like Wear Tears. Like, I can see the appeal of it in wanting to answer their like enchantments, their Oath of Nissa, their Oath of Liliana. The one we saw last round, similar effect that makes us sack a creature, so they don't get to blink it off of Yorion. But I don't want to dilute my game plan. There were several times where we were like hoping for a good top deck, and if we top deck a Wear Tear, it's gonna feel atrociously awful. So I think we're just gonna do what we did last time, bringing in 2 Eidolons, taking out those Chain to the Rocks. All right, we have a creature dense hand, couple lands. I'm not super familiar with the Yorion Inverter list. I know that that's a relatively new development, so I'm not quite sure what type of removal they're running. We're keeping it clearly, but I would almost be nervous about having this many creatures because we might risk overcommitting to the board and then getting blown out by something like a Languish. But they're mulling a 5. Wow. I think this creature dense hand becomes a lot better when they're at 5, because then we get to really apply the pressure, and if they have removal, then it means they don't have ways to churn through their deck, and if they do have ways to churn through their deck, then they don't have the removal they need to block or to get rid of these creatures. Light up the stage. That's going to be a great way for us to refill our hand, even if we do get blown out by a board wipe. Leaning on the Swift Spear. We're getting some damage in. They didn't crack the Fabled Passage, which shows that they do not have a turn 2 play. What this could mean is that that the 5 that they mulled to is just an Inverter of Truth, just like the combo, right? And they're waiting on these Fabled Passages, and they're wanting to wait until they get 4 lands. That's a possibility. I could just be overthinking it because they don't have a turn 1 or turn 2 play, so they're just not bothering to crack them. So I guess that could be it. But if they don't have a turn 1, turn 2, then they are in trouble. I think we just want to play the Pyromancer. I do see the appeal of just wanting to chalk up some prowess triggers. While we have the Swift Spear, we don't know when they'll draw a Fatal Push. But I also just want to set up these big turns where we get to swing in with Lava Runner, Pyromancer, and a Swift Spear that has a bunch of prowess counters on it, or prowess triggers. So they have a turn 3 play. Double Swamp. That really shows to me that they have an Inverter of Truth in their hand, that they fetched out 2 black sources because they need that double black. I guess they're just trying to combo me really fast. It wouldn't surprise me if their hand was land, Inverter of Truth, Thassa's Oracle, and they're just playing us to next turn, slam down Inverter, and win the game on turn 5. So as much as I want to just go double Lava Runner right now, attacking for 3 and having that be the only thing that we do this turn is not going to be conducive to us winning the game, I think. Again, it's that same deal of like we're not attacking with both Lava Runners this turn, so we might as well play some instants so that way when we slam them down, we get to turn them sideways and that they're glorified. They're glorified Wild Slashes. We played a land for the turn, so there's... If we go Wild Slash light up the stage, then there's a chance that we get to play another spell off of Exile. But if we go Lightning Strike light up the stage, then we're guaranteed to use all of our mana. But I think that's going to be the plan. We want to... Although, what's our plan for next turn, right? Are we going to be... It really depends on what 2 cards we get off that light up the stage. And we need to put ourselves in the best position to make use of that extra card. Those extra cards. Because we don't want to just waste it. So I think the play is going to be Lightning Strike, light up the stage. Because then we get to use the colorless off the Battlefield Forge. Not that our life total is that conducive. See what we get. I really hope it's land 1-drop. It's a tapped land and a lightning strike. So there's a decent chance that we're not going to cast either of those. Or we're going to play the land, of course. But there's a chance that we might not cast this lightning strike. We'll have to see what we draw. That's always the biggest thing. Like 1 top deck will change everything. But we're hitting them for 5. Putting them to 8. Do we have 8 damage? We definitely have 8 damage if they don't remove our creatures. We could go... We have 5 instant speed damage. We have Lightning Strike, Wild Slash. That's 5. So drawing a Wizard's Lightning would be really great. Although we can't... Yeah, there's the Inverter of Truth. So we need to win next turn. Like, full stop. We got to win next turn. I think we might want to just draw a mountain, some sort of untapped land. If we do that, then we can double Lava Runner, Lightning Strike, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's 9. So maybe an untapped land is what we want. I think we can still win without it with just the Wild Slash. We're going to find out, though. Inspiring Vantage. So we'll play this Inspiring Vantage just... So I think that's what we got to do. We got to go Lava Runner. Lava Runner. And then we're swinging in. I think we got it. They're tapped out. Wild Slash allows us to get a prowess trigger. No matter what they block, they take 6. Wild Slash is 8. So, well, they just choose to block the Swift Spear anyway. Taking 6. Let's Wild Slash them and win the game. And I think that does it. We got him. All right, we are 3-0. And we're not just 3-0. We are 2-0 all 3 times. We are really slamming through this league. All right, I'm going to queue up another match. And while that's loading, I'm going to very, very quickly get myself something to drink. I am also very happy to see Inverter lose. I just, like, I get it, you know, combo is a archetype, and people, you know, need to have some sort of combo deck to play, but just, yeah, definitely happy to see that deck get, I don't want to use the word stomped, but we pretty decisively won both of our Inverter matchups, which is really nice. And despite not having a lot of sideboard for it, you know, when I was playing Spirits, I was playing I was bringing in 6 to 8 cards for Inverter, bringing in lots of counter magic and interaction that way. So it does kind of feel nice to, even though we don't have any sideboard slots for Inverter, that we just kind of get to bank on our run them over game plan. All right, getting into match number 4. We're sitting 3-0. Like, we're doing pretty well. Let's see if we can keep it running. We have once again lost the die roll. We are 0-4 on die rolls right now. Let's see if we're playing another companion deck. Ooh. This is the Lord one. I'm going to 100% say we're up against blue-white control. That's the only deck that I've seen in Pioneer playing this. So if you're not aware, the new blue-white control decks are running 0 creatures, and then this is their only creature. So the idea is that they are just going to keep a hand that's full of interaction, and then play this 3-mana 3/2 and attack with it every turn to win the game. Fortunately, we have a very good hand for control. We have some creatures. We have some good burn spells. And then we get to utilize Lurrus, hopefully. We need to draw another white source, but I'm not too worried about it. And opt. All right, we're going to attack for 1. Now, this is where, do we want to just slam down the Pyromancer and try to rely on that? Or do we want to use a bunch of burn spells to attack with this Monastery Swiftspear? I think we'll go to attack. We're going to attack with the Swiftspear and see what they do. There's a decent chance they might try to Azorius Charm it back on top. And if they do that, we might just let it resolve. No blocks, obviously. Do I want to? I don't. I'm just going to let him take 1. And we're going to play the Pyromancer. Because then that's a wizard. Turns on our Wizard's Lightning, which will be the first thing we cast next turn. And then we can hopefully go Wizard's Lightning, skewer the critics, get 2 Lava Runner, attack for 7. And that's 13 damage, so that puts them very low. Neutralize. They're cycling it. So the fact that they're cycling that 3-mana spell means that they're either low on lands or they are just planning on board wiping here in a turn or 2. Interesting to see what their turn 3 will be. They could play a Planeswalker, but they are not. Land pass. What a surprise. Inspiring Vantage is good. That gets us on Lurrus mana, so definitely something to be thinking about, because I'm anticipating some kind of board wipe next turn. I think what we'll do is we're going to cast the Wizard's Lightning immediately, because I want to make sure that we get to cast that for 1 mana. We'll cast the Lava Runner. They're going to counter the Lava Runner, it looks like. Absorb. Ugh. That's gross. Well, we're still going to cast this Skewer the Critics. And then we are going to attack for 5. Not the best. They're up a virtual 5 life, right? They gained 3 from the Absorb and then prevented 2 from the Lava Runner. But putting him to 8, not bad. I'm expecting a Supreme Verdict next turn. Although, I don't know. Maybe not. The fact that they... Ooh, Ooh, they don't have their 4th land. Ooh, that's exciting. Oh, they do have their 4th land. It just doesn't matter. All right, I think the plan is going to be... See what we draw. Sacred Foundry. Mountain. We could go Lurrus Lava Runner, attack for 3, put him to 5. Or we could go Pyromancer, Wild Slash, and then there's a debate on where we send the 2 damage from the Pyromancer, because the Pyromancer could go... We could send the 2 damage at Teferi to get it off the battlefield. Although Teferi isn't really stopping us from doing anything right now. We're past the point of holding up interaction. We're definitely just like playing at sorcery speed. So the Teferi doesn't bother me a whole lot. But I definitely know, like, I could definitely see them turning the corner. They board wipe, they do something, and then I'm stuck with nothing in hand, and they get to slowly tick up this Teferi and grind out value. But there's also an argument that this 2 damage just wins us the game. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts him at 2. I think that's what we wanted. You know what? Yeah. We're going to go Pyromancer. And we're going to send the 2 damage right up at them. Because I think the plan is going to be, we just need to pressure their life total. My plan is going to be to hit them to 2 with this Swift Spear. They have to Supreme... Oh. They have to Supreme Verdict, but they can wait and do it at instant speed with the Teferi. We're going to attack the Teferi. Because then we can't do the Lurrus... Because what I wanted to do was, if they board wiped next turn, we could go Lurrus, Lava Runner, attack for 2. But if they get to instant speed Supreme Verdict, that's not going to happen. So we'll just hit the Teferi for 2. Same as if we had Pyromancered it. So I'm not too upset about it. It does mean that if they still Supreme Verge, we don't win next... Oh, we still win. Doesn't matter. I hate, like... Oh, man. It's so funny. You sit there and you overthink it. And you make this plan, and then it's just like, who cares? All right. Again, these Chain to the Rocks are coming out. This has not been a good league for Chain to the Rocks. We have taken it out every game so far, but if in match 5 we play against the Saram Auras deck, Chain to the Rocks is going to be massive. We're bringing in the 2 Eidolons again because we're playing against a control deck. That's kind of it. Deflecting Palm isn't going to do anything here. Wear Tear isn't going to do anything right here. Searing Blood. I mean, we could Searing Blood their companion, but we'll see if they even get to cast it. And I don't want to be stuck with this dead in my hand. Grafdigger's Cage is pretty bad too. I don't think they're going to be flashing anything back unless they're running Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which I don't think they are. But again, I think that kind of shows just the power of our main deck, right? In both the Inverter matchups and in this matchup, we haven't really been sideboarding anything in. We've been sideboarding out my Spice, right? My sick tech for the Saram Auras matchup, and then bringing back in what we would have been running otherwise, which is the Eidolon. We have 1 land and only 1 thing that we can cast. I don't want to risk it because we need to come out to an aggressive start. That last matchup really showed that if we can come out to a fast start, that we can win the game. It's still 1 land, but we have all the 1 drops. We're going to keep it. I could argue to put the Eidolon on bottom because it's the only card in our hand that we don't get to freely kind of cast. But I want to keep it because I want to draw a second land and just slam it down and have the Eidolon take over the game. But the idea, if we can draw a land and go Soulscar Mage turn 1, Soulscar Mage Lava Runner turn 2, Wizard's Lightning light up the stage turn 3, that's probably just the game. So I think we are going to put the Eidolon back. And I hope I'm not over-explaining my thought process. Just... Don't think I should have kept this hand. I definitely just like having a 1-land hand is really no good, but I think going to 5 is going to be even worse for us, even if we can get 2 lands and some spells. I already played my lucky hand. You know what? We have been abusing our luck this league already. Like, we've kept 1-landers and drawn it on time. We've needed a wizard, drawn it on time. So let's see if we get that lucky again. Not this time. We're going to play out another Soul Scar. Or I'm going to attack because we're not going to get to play anything otherwise. Or we're not going to attack with anything else otherwise. I might just cast this light at the stage and hope we get a second land. And then if we do, I play out the Soul Scar Mage. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to Spectacle this light at the stage. And if it's 2 spells, then it doesn't matter because we don't want to be drawing those. We need to hit a second land drop. Uh-oh. Ugh, gross. All right, we're in trouble. See if we can draw a land. Another light at the stage is fine though. We're gonna attack. This might be. We might not win this one. It's not looking too good. And the fact they just did 3rd land pass makes me feel like they're gonna counter this next light at the stage too, or whatever we play. But we're gonna try it. See if we get to. Yep. All right. They are countering our guys. Land. All right. Sacred Foundry is a good draw. Now, the question is, are we going to play into a Supreme Verdict? Because if I go Soulscar Mage Lava Runner and they just go Supreme Verdict next turn, then we're so far behind. Because then we don't get to cast our Wizard's Lightning on curve. We don't get to, we're not getting prowess triggers off of these. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Get to Lava Runner, or I'm going to cast Wizard's Lightning first because they're probably going to either counter the first or the second thing that we play. So we're just going to Wizard's Lightning here. We're going to see if they counter it. Because I would rather have the Lava Runner as opposed to the 3 damage off this Wizard's Lightning. But we will see. Okay, both resolve. There has to be some sort of interaction, right? They're going to Azorius Charm something on top of my library. They're going to bounce something to my hand. Okay, something to note. They do not have a companion. That means they brought in Dream Trawler. Dream Trawler is in the deck. Okay, they had the Azorius Charm, but they're just choosing to draw. Definitely worried about Dream Trawler. If they slam that down, game's over. No way. We have the reach to get through a Dream Trawler. Supreme Verdict. Yep. See, I'm glad I didn't overextend with that Soulscar Mage. Because now we get to... Do I have... Jeez. The more time we give them, the worse off we are. So part of me wants to just cast Boros Charm. Untap, cast Boros Charm, hit him to 3. And then if we draw a Skewer the Critics, we win the game. Or no, but we need a land. Because if I play Soulscar Mage, I'm just going Soulscar Mage pass. And if I do that, they're going to be at 2, 4, 6 mana next turn, and I believe that's Dream Trawler mana. But then again, Boros Charm isn't going to help us against Dream Trawler anyway. But I guess it's the damage now versus damage later, right? If we play Soulscar Mage and it resolves, we might be able to attack for 2 next turn, maybe even 3 with the light up the stage. But if we don't and it just dies immediately or they do something else, then we've wasted a whole turn. So I think the plan is I'm just going to pass and hope we draw a land next turn so I can go Boros Charm. I'm going to go Boros Charm on the instep and then hopefully draw a land, go Boros Charm light at the stage, and then we can close out the game very quickly. Going to 11, though. That does matter because now a Wild Slash will function as well. It doesn't have to be a Skewer the Critics. It can be a Wild Slash. Alright, they just passed with 6 mana. They're either going to create a human, which is bad for this Soulscar Mage, right? Because then they can just chump block with humans all day. So let's see. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I think we've definitely lost this game. Well, we drew the Skewer the Critics. Doesn't do us too much right now. We gotta play the Soulscar Mage because now that they're at 14, we cannot reasonably burn them out with just burn spells. We're gonna have to get a creature in play. And if they start putting out things with Castle Ardenvale, that's fine with us. Because then they're tapping out for that. Nothing. Spiring Vantage, best land that we could draw. If we draw another land next turn, I think the plan will be cast Lurrus, recast a Lava Runner, and then start trying to hit him. We're going to attack. We're going to see how they block. Or we're going to see what they do. If they make a token and block it, that's great. Yeah, okay. They only have 2 mana now, which means that we can Boros Charm, light up the stage. Sure. And they're low on mana, so maybe we get away with this. It's possible. Although that's still, what is it, Censor mana? It feels bad not to get all these prowess triggers, but Lava Runner, Battlefield Forge. So what's the plan here? We'll see what we draw, but we're definitely going to play the 2 cards in exile. Hallowed Fountain tapped. That means they either have nothing in hand, because they haven't been doing too much. So I don't think they have anything big. They're probably just going to make another token, block this Soulscar Mage. So, or yeah, block this Soulscar Mage. So we could go Lava Runner, Soulscar Mage. We'll see what they block. Because if they block the Lava Runner, then they're only going to take 1, and then we can... I'm going to sit and think on this for a quick sec. We're casting this Lava Runner. Free value off of that. Lurrus can wait. Now the option is, do I play Soulscar Mage and hope that they make a token and block our first Soulscar Mage? Because if they do, then it's great. We get in for 2. But I kind of just want to... No, we're going to play the Soulscar Mage. Because if we force them to Verdict next turn, I think that's good for us. Like, it's not good that they're getting rid of all of our creatures, but it means that, like, they have 2 cards in hand. If they... The fact that they're not doing anything, they're not casting omens, they're not cycling, they're not countering the things that we're playing, makes me feel like they just have 2 lands in their hand, or like something that's really worthless, like, I don't know. So they're at 9. Next turn we can attack for a bit. I'm just gonna cast this now while they have 2 lands in hand, or they have 2 mana open. Oh no, did we not? I didn't hit Cast with Spectacle. Oops. I was like, did they not take damage? We are wasting some prowess triggers, but we don't have a way to deal damage right now pre-combat to turn on Spectacle. And next turn I want to play Lurrus. I want to try to shut the door on them and force them to have it. Another land. Reinforces my they only have lands theory. Verdict. Okay. They have one card in hand. If they have a counter spell for our Lurrus, that's going to be very, very not fun. But we'll see. We get it. And we're going to cast Get to Lava Runner. Okay. Because we need to apply the pressure. We're going to hit him to 4. Oh, they're going to make another token. Yeah, sure. Or at the very least, right, even though they're blocking, it's not the end of the world because we're at least getting rid of their token. If they were able to just make tokens and then slowly amass a big thing of tokens, then there's no hope of us winning. If we're forcing them to just, like, fog one attacker every turn, next turn is going to be a really good one for us. Like, if they're paying for something. Please don't be another verdict. Gideon of the Trials. An emblem. 4 mana. They have mana to activate Castle Ardenvale. They play a land this turn. They did not. They have a land in their hand and they're bluffing it. There's no way that they don't. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we recast another Lava Runner. We swing in at them. They take 5, go to 1. And then we get to Wizards. Well, Wizards Lightning the Gideon just to, like, get rid of it because that emblem is going to be no good. We just Wizards Lightning the Gideon out. Then they're at 1 life, and they have to draw a Supreme Verdict to win the game. That's what I'm thinking. Because if we go with the Lurrus at Gideon, they'll just block it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, like, we have the ability to get them below 0, but the second they start plussing up on this Gideon, it's going to quickly get out of hand. So we are going to just attack all at them. There's also a good chance that, I mean, this seems like a decently competent control player. I doubt they're not going to make a token and block. Settle the Wreckage. Ugh. We walked right into that one, didn't we? Ugh. Oh, that stinks. I guess we're still gonna Wizards Lightning for 1 mana this Gideon. Get that out of here. But they're top decking, right? But so are we. Jeez. That settle is good. That puts us in a bit of a bind because now they get to start pumping out tokens every turn and we don't have a way to get rid of them. We have no answer to the tokens. So even if we draw like a Soulscar Mage here, it's not going to be... Lightning Strike is good. They have no cards in hand, so we're just going to Lightning Strike them. Put him to 3. Feels good. I mean... Are they going to scry or are they going to make a... No, they're scrying. I honestly prefer the scry to the token because now if we draw a Hasty Boy, we can just start we can start swinging in, right? They put 2 cards on the bottom, which means they're just digging, right? They don't... Oh, they're going to scry 2 again. They have so many lands, though, that's fine for them. Bad for us. Let's hope they put 2 more on the bottom because if they leave 1 on top, that means it's something good. Oh, we need to let that resolve. 2 cards on the bottom. That means that they're still digging, so there's a good chance that they just draw nothing. So if we draw a light Field of Ruin, cool. So if we draw anything good, we win. We got him. Oh, Yeah. Look at, man, I thought we had lost that game. Like, I was 100% just like, all right, we're out of here, but we got him. Whew. We are sitting 4-0, and not even just regular 4-0. Like, we have not dropped a game yet. We are about to go 5-0, maybe, fingers crossed. We're going to play against something just gross round or match 5 that's going to make me feel sad, but defeating all the boogeymans. Yeah, we're beating up on control. We're beating up on inverter. We're beating up on rogue combo decks like we did in match 1. Like, yeah, that was a tough one. That was a really tough game. That last one. We definitely got lucky because they saw 5 cards there at the end. They scryed 2 on our end step, scryed 2 on their upkeep, and then drew a card, and they still didn't find anything good. So we definitely had a little bit of luck on our side. We won the die roll. Uh-oh, that means we're losing. Yeah, we're gonna play first. Revealing our Lurrus. Let's see if we're playing a companion. Another Lurrus. Now, yeah, we're really doing well. I'm super happy about it. I'm really happy that our first stream is like, we're showing them what's up. I'm not just going 0-5 and feeling bad about myself. This is a great hand. If I really want this to be the Saram Aras deck, not because I think that's a good matchup, but because I want to play this Chain to the Rocks. So we're keeping this hand. Okay. Let's play out the Lava Runner. What are we up against? A Blood Crypt. Ghost Fireblade. Is this... Oh, this is, it's not Is It Ensoul. This is probably the Ensoul deck. I know that I've seen some lists that have been experimenting with Lurrus. Most of the time I've seen them splash white and go with the All That Glitters. But I guess this is like a Mardu, or not Mardu, a Grixis Ensoul list. We'll have to see. Although the fact that they didn't play a creature means that I'm going to safely cast this Pyromancer. And we are going to start putting them on the beatdown. Let's see. Mana Confluence. Or this could be like some super janky, like, it is an Ensoul list. The fact they're playing Mana Confluence means that either they're using it for fixing, or they are playing like some 4 or 5 color Ensoul list that's also running All That Glitters. But I don't see why they would run black if not to cast Lurrus. I think we take 5 here. I don't want to... Our life total is high enough that we can afford to take a hit. And yeah, this is where Chain to the Rocks is going to be great. Like, I think we're just going to slam that down next turn. And then make them feel real sad. Because when your deck is named after one card, that one card is probably really important. Swift Spear is a great draw, too, because we get some free prowess off of this. Oh, we can't cast Chain to the Rocks. We don't have a mountain. Oh, because we had to enchant a mountain, and we have 2 non-mountains right now. Uh-oh. That's not great. Oh, no. let's see. I think we are going to. I think we're going to Wizard's Lightning here. There is an argument to holding on to it, so then we can deal 5 to the Ghostfire Blade if we need to. Like, Control Alt, get rid of it. But I think we just want to start pushing through some damage right now. Because right now we're hitting them for 5. They're hitting us for 5. I think we can win that race. Well, we also have we just have 6 damage in hand too. We just have 6 damage, so if we can just draw any land, we can win the game. Well, now we don't have to. What are they gonna do? Ballista. That's a nice promo ballista. Them taking 1 off of that ballista is pretty. Like, that's gonna be huge. Because now if they can't attack with this Ghostfire Blade. Because if they do, we're going to hit them for enough to win the game. Yeah, they're thinking. Oh, they're okay. So we are most likely going to get game 1. Because here's what I anticipate happening. I anticipate them blocking like the Swift Spear with the Ballista, and then pinging the Pyromancer, so we only get in for 1 to 2 with the Lava Runner. But that's just enough for us to win the game anyway. Especially with the Skewer the Critics. So we're just going to go to attack. Just what I anticipated. They'd block the Swift Spear and they're going to ping the Pyromancer. And then we'll Wild Slash, and then we're going to Skewer the Critics on our second main phase. Just in case, want to make sure we get in for 2 with the Lava Runner. Oh yeah, we could have just Charmed before damage, and then that's enough to win too. That's fair. We should. I guess all roads lead to something. All right, what do we want for this matchup? I want to bring in Deflecting Palm. I think that'll be fun to get to like palm them and then win the game that way. I want to bring in Palm. This is the first game that we're really going to have to like sideboard for. Wear Tear is going to be an interesting one because we can wear the Ensoul artifact or we can like tear their enchantment, which will be great. I think we do want the 3 Wear Tears because almost all their threats are artifacts. They're like the Ensoul artifact that they did last game. Granted, if we try to tear or wear a Walking Ballista, it doesn't matter. But yeah, all of their threats are artifacts, so Wear Tear is going to be really good here. Those are the 5 I think I want to bring in. I don't want to over sideboard because I could just say slam in the Chain to the Rock, slam in the Searing Blood, slam in the Eidolons even. But that's definitely going overboard on it. I think our weak cards are. Searing Blood against the Ballista. But with Searing Blood, the Ballista has to die, though. So if they take all the counters off in response, they're not going to take 3. Unfortunately. That's why this Searing Blood is a strictly worse Searing Blaze. I want to keep Eidolon, but I don't know. Maybe the Pyromancer. It did work. It's just getting us to swing in, but I think the Pyromancer is going to be one of the weaker. Hello, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. All right, we're running low on time. We need to get rid of 2 more cards. I'll probably get rid of a Light Up the Stage. I'll get rid of 2. Little hasty on sideboarding. I need to probably should just write out a sideboard guide for myself to use quickly, but the meta is just so rapidly changing that sometimes it's hard for me to immediately know what to bring in and take out. Lurrus of the Dream Den. 3 lands. We have a creature and some burn spells. Can't ask for more. All right, we are 4-0, and we're up a game here in match 5. So let's see if we can get a 5-0. I'm honestly okay with that. I'd be more worried if they played a creature, because if they Ensoul artifact this, it's like, who cares? Gotta get an energy before you can tap that for mana. Deadweight. Deadweight might be an issue if they can get to Lurrus mana, because if they can cast that Lurrus, they're just going to start looping Deadweight, making sure that I never get a creature on the board. Fortunately, we have Lurrus mana ourselves, so we're going to definitely... And not only do we have Lurrus mana, but we have 4 mana, so we get to Lurrus back our Swift Spear. Everything we have is an instant, so we're just going to pass the turn. Because maybe we can get them to overcommit thinking that we don't have anything good. It's an Ensoul artifact coming down. Stone Coil Serpent for 2. Trample, reach, protection from multicolored. So we do get to kill this with just a Wild Slash. Alright, and they've paid the equip cost. I think we're just gonna... I want to Lightning Strike it. I just want to make sure that we get to use our mana efficiently. Cool. And we got them to waste a turn. We got him. Yeah. Lava Runner is a pretty good draw because we're going to get to cast. We're going to get to attack with it immediately. I think here we're gonna kind of press the issue with this Boros Charm. Get in there for 2. For those of you just joining us, we are currently playing through a league with Lurrus Burn and Pioneer. We are in round 5. We are currently 4-0. We have not dropped a game yet, and we are up 1 against what looks like it's 4 to 5 color Ensoul. I haven't seen any. I haven't quite seen everything, but looks like it's 4 to 5 color. Walker is fine. Although, when it dies, they get to create some Thopters, so... Battlefield Forge. Now, we could go Lurrus Swift Spear, but they also have the mana to go... Only if you control an artifact, so they also have the mana to just go Lurrus Deadweight on their turn with their 1 energy, so I don't know if I want them to... just kill my Lurrus immediately. We're gonna. I think we're just gonna attack in because I don't want to kill this now because then they get blockers to block my guys. Okay. Do I care about saving this Gitu Lava Runner? I don't think I do. So I think we're just gonna... They didn't block the Prowess guy, which is the big one. Now, there might be an argument to holding on to this Wild Slash, but to maybe try to deal with like some Thopters so we can start pushing through with our creatures. But we got him at 3. Like it's going to be difficult for them to fight back into it with 2 cards in hand. Yeah, see, so here comes a Lurrus Deadweight, which we were worried about. But they're at 1. We got to draw literally anything and we win the game. Anything that's worth playing. They're being smart, though. They're not attacking with... If they attacked with both Thopters, then we'd be in a pretty good spot. But let's see. What do we get? Chain to the Rocks. We do have a mountain now, fortunately, so we can... We have the option to chain their Lurrus and then cast our Lurrus. No, we don't get to cast anything off of it immediately. Oh, they can't because of the Confluence. Yeah, because they don't have black mana. That's a really good... Yeah, all right. So we're going to enchant this mountain. Pay a white. We're still going to soak up their Lurrus. I don't want them recasting this Hangerback Walker or the Stonecoil Serpent. Then we're going to slam down our Lurrus. Fortunately, we can't cast anything this turn, but that's okay. If we draw a haste creature or any burn spell, we can win the game. Maybe. We'll see what they play. Walker's a good one. Yeah, they can't tap this Confluence, and that Spire of Industry doesn't quite allow them to cast that Walker for 2. Are they going to attack me for 3? Ooh, that's a bad move. Rookie move. If I draw any haste creature, we can... Nah, well, we'll just lightning strike him. Guess it doesn't matter. We got him. Wow. We did it. Not only did we get a 5-0, we got an undefeated 5-0. We did not drop a single game this entire league. That is incredible. Look at that. Oh, man. Daniel, hello. Look at that. A perfect 5-0. Wow. Woo. That's fun. That's our second trophy. It's our second 5-0 with this list. So I really hope that shows like how well positioned this burn deck is. It is excellent. Daniel, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hopefully I will do this more often. I think that's probably gonna be it for today. Playing one league. Been doing this for about 2 hours. I feel good about where we are with this. All right. Excellent. It's a good list. Like, we'll have to see how long Lurrus stays around. Or let's go back to the list for a second. Let's recap what we just did. So we played against a Paradoxical Outcome combo deck, 2 Dimir Inverters with Yorion as the companion, a blue-white control list, and then we just played against the Ensoul artifact deck. Pretty much everything in the main deck was super solid. Like, our creatures did everything they were supposed to do. Lurrus was a powerhouse in a couple of the matchups. The two Chain to the Rocks main deck, we could very easily just make those the Eidolons again. We didn't play against the decks that I was hoping to play with the main rock one, or with main deck Chain to the Rocks. Although I do think 4 in the 75 is necessary because you need them to win certain matchups. So that might be a change that we could do. Put the Eidolons back in, take the Chain to the Rocks out. Every other sideboard piece we brought in, we didn't get to cast like Deflecting Palm or Graft Digger's Cage, but I'm still feeling pretty solid about the sideboard. Not a whole lot I would change about the list overall. But yeah, I think that will do it for today. I'll probably stream this same 75 again later in the week. I might change out the Eidolons for the Chain to the Rocks. We'll see. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this first stream. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.